Welcome everybody to Cup with Gup on this Monday, January 3rd, 2022. Hopefully everybody had a great New Year's Eve and New Year's. Some awesome football over the weekend. A good day of football yesterday. Night game, not so much, but always fun to see Aaron Rodgers and the boys sling it around. Tonight's game a little bit less impactful after the results yesterday. Now the Steelers get a home game, potentially Ben's last home game, and a must-win plus win this coming up weekend, and get some help, a lot of help to get in. So unlikely they can get in, but they're still fighting tonight, need that win, especially with Big Ben's last home game. The Browns are done, officially eliminated. Only here to play upset role and potentially build on the future. We'll see. We'll get to more of that here in just a second. We will also, so I'll go through playoff picture scenarios, some games that I kind of am looking at based on all of that. Go through the Sunday night or the Monday night showdown tonight. Touch on a little bit of PGA first look odds, see what I like there. Only a 39-man field, so a small card this week, and then we'll wrap it up and get out of here on your Monday afternoon. Be back tonight with Smash Factor late this afternoon. Right now, use the code CUP, get 20% off. Any package includes a 7-day free trial. PGA is back, as I just mentioned. So you've been holding off, waiting for PGA to come back. Now's a chance. Use CUP, get 20% off, all free this week. Come check out the tools, lineup optimizer. You'll get a little Monday night football tonight, Tuesday night, college football showdown tomorrow, K-State, Louisiana, or LSU. Bobby will probably have a little article out for that for the community. And then the national championship a week from tonight. You'll get that as well. I'm sure Bobby will go into great depth there, strategy, how to do it. Big pots out there for that championship showdown. Plus, week 18 this week. We get Saturday games, Sunday games, NASCAR, about a month and a half out. UFC back next week. NBA going on daily. We got you covered over there, so come check it out. Cup 20% off. Rate and review us on iTunes. Always enjoy that. Need those ratings and reviews, especially if you're coming back to PGA for the first time in a while. We'll be doing giveaways all throughout the spring leading up to Daytona, the Players Championship, Masters, and etc. And the way to get into the free giveaways, I do big giveaways for those big events, is to having rate and review us on iTunes. I keep a log of all those throughout the year. If you can't remember when you did it last, go do it again. It never hurts to do it more than once. Like and subscribe to YouTube. That is the other way to get in for free on our big giveaways. And then also the weekly giveaways. I look at those. So you got to be subscribed on YouTube. And in the comment section, give me your favorite captain tonight. I'll do giveaways, sporadically. When I do, I always go back to the last moment. I used the comments. So when you keep doing comments, I keep them going and you get into those drawings. I'll probably do one this week for PJ being back. Probably give away some stuff on Wednesday. So tell me your favorite captain tonight, Steelers, Browns, and that'll get you into the drawing. Listener League is up and it is back. Tonight or this week will be the first way to get into the season-long League of Champions finale. I didn't do it in the fall because of football being in there, and then we have such smaller pots or pools that I wanted to make it more that everybody that won a week was pretty similar in total entries. We got 300 this week. We're going to try to build it back up like we did last year. So you win this week, you'll get tossed into the season-long League of Champions finale. That link is in the description. Also in the description, Underdog. Click that link. Use the code GUP. You get a free $1 match up to $100 when you deposit up to $100. The Gauntlet NFL Playoff Best Ball is back. $1 million in prizes, $200K to first, $25 to enter. Got a lot clearer picture on the playoffs now. You could start getting into some contests. Feel fairly comfortable with who's going to get the most games. A lot of strategy in there. I know we talk about it over in the GC Warrior Room. So you can join us there if you're a member. See how people are attacking this. How to get the most players in the most games. You almost got to kind of predict the playoff bracket, then draft accordingly. It's a fun deal and a big prize pool. $1 million, $200K to first. Again, click that link. PGA will be back this week. I'll give out picks for Underdog and Monkey Knife Fight on Wednesdays, Cup with Gup. So if you want to do that, I'll have picks for that as well. Early lines that stick out to me. So unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depends on how you look at it, not many games this week on who's getting in, who's getting out. Several will factor in on the seeding. There's only 7. A reminder, there's 7 teams that make the playoff this year. Number 1 seed gets a bye. That's it. Basically, so assuming the Colts beat the Jags, let's just assume that happens. If it doesn't, obviously a huge upset, but the Jags are horrible right now. And I think they have the number 1 seed locked up if they lose. So I'm not saying they would ever try not to win, but not a lot of motivation for the Jags to win. Colts, all the motivation in the world. The Colts would get a playoff spot, and then it'd basically be down to the Chargers versus Raiders, which is the last game on Sunday night. So that's it for who can get in the playoffs. If the Jags happen to upset the Colts, then the Ravens, Steelers kind of get brought into the mix. Assuming the Steelers win tonight, Steelers have to win tonight. If the Steelers lose tonight, then it would only be the Ravens or Colts that could get that spot. If 49ers beat the Rams, they are in. If they lose, the Saints have to win against the Falcons to get in. If the Saints lose, the 49ers are in no matter what. Obviously, those games are going to go off at the same time, so there's no way to kind of know that ahead of time. Rams are playing for some seeding. We'll get into a little bit. So far in the AFC, the Titans are in, clinched the division. Chiefs are in, clinched the division. Bengals are in, clinched the division. Bills and Patriots are in. Division not clinched there. Packers clinched the number 1 seed and division, obviously, last night. Rams are in, haven't clinched division yet. Bucks in and clinched the division. Cowboys in, clinched the division. Cardinals are in, have not clinched the division. And the Eagles are in and guaranteed a wild card spot. At this point, cannot win the division. Dallas already has it clinched. So that last spot would be, like I mentioned, 49ers or Saints would be the last team in the NFC. Those are the only 2 that can get into the NFC at this point. Games that kind of mean something as we're looking towards betting. DK will be a whole different story because you're going to have some betting's not, I won't say easier in this situation, but you can kind of dictate how you think games may go or what's important. You're just looking for them to cover a number. DraftKings, like you could have some of these guys. One, for instance, would be like the Patriots. Let's assume the Patriots, they have to win and have the Bills lose to win the division, and they still technically, mathematically, could win the number 1 seed. Very unlikely, but they do. Well, and we talk about this all the time in the past. What if the Bills are playing the Jets? So highly unlikely already, but let's say they get in the locker room at halftime and the Bills are up 28-3 on the Jets. Do the Patriots kind of rest? Because now there's only 1 team getting a bye week now, so they got to play the next week. Some of that stuff's so hard to predict, especially for DraftKings, that it makes it somewhat difficult at times. I do like the Saturday games this year because we kind of know what'll go on there. There's no Chiefs, for instance, like they have to win because they're trying to get the number 1 seed, and they won't know when they play Saturday what the Titans are going to do. Probably the Titans win. They get the Texans, I believe, on Sunday, but Chiefs are going to go out there, going to play. They're going to try to win and hope upset happens and the Titans lose and they get the number 1 seed, right? Some of those clear-cut things are nice to see, but like I mentioned, Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs need a win and a Titans loss, get up in the number 1 seed. Cowboys at Eagles, somewhat meaningful. Cowboys could move up in seeding. Need some things to happen there. But they're on Saturday as well, so potentially they're going to try to go out there and win and hope some things happen. They move up in seeding. Bengals at Browns. Bengals have a very, very small chance to get the number 1 seed. They've already clinched the division. I don't know how much they want to play their players, given like the 4% chance they have of they need to win. And then I think the Titans, Chiefs, and Patriots all have to lose for them to get the number 1 seed. So not ideal there for the Bengals. Colts, that's going to matter. Win and in. That's all I got to do. Beat Jaguars, they're in. Titans, they got to beat the Texans, and they get the number 1 seed, home field throughout. That's important. Saints at Falcons. Like we said, Saints got to win and need the 49ers to lose. So they're going to be trying hard pretty much the whole game. Those games go off at the same time. Seahawks at Cardinals. Cardinals need a win and a Rams loss against those 49ers, and they can win the division. So both will have to play opening weekend because the Packers have already, or wild card weekend because Packers have already clinched number one. But all that will do some seeding, and you get the home field the first week instead of having to go on the road, most likely to Dallas. We just saw the Cardinals beat Dallas yesterday in Dallas. Jets at Bills. Bills need to beat the Jets, and they win the division, which is ironic because they'll probably wind up playing the Patriots again in the first round if all things kind of shake out. So that's really just going to matter on, is it Buffalo at New England or New England at Buffalo? Pats at Dolphins are going to matter a little bit. Again, they need to win and have the Bills somehow lose to the Jets. That'll be a little iffy to see how they handle that. 49ers at Rams win, and if the 49ers win, they're in. If Saints lose, they're also in. But if the Rams win, they win the division, get probably the 2 seed. So that's going to be an important game. And then the last one, Chargers at Raiders. Winner gets in the playoffs. So that's pretty much the simplest one there. Loser goes home. It's basically just another round of the extension of the playoffs. It will be the Sunday Night Football game, so that'll be fun to pay attention to. Both those teams will be all at it. Games I like early based on that. I like the Chiefs -10 on the Broncos Saturday. Looking good. Want to hit stride. They're not going to get a bye week. I guess they could rest if they get up big, but they're already going to be covering that 10. Broncos are pretty much done for the year. Be interested to see who starts quarterback there. I think it'll be Locke again. I think the Chiefs could run away with that on Saturday. I like the Cardinals -6.5. I think it's realistic to think that the 49ers will give the Rams all they want. We'll see what happens with quarterback. Lance looked a lot better in the second half than the first half, maybe shaking off some rust, getting, comfortable with playing again. We'll see if Jimmy G has a chance to start there, but, and they're going to play at the same time, the Cardinals and 49ers. So the Cardinals are going to be motivated to get that win, and hopefully they can win in the division and host the game the following week instead of having to go on the road to probably Dallas. 49ers +5. I like that game. I'll wait to see what the quarterback situation is there. I don't want controversy or anything. I think that game will be tight no matter what, so I like getting the 5 points. Raiders +3. Right now, I think the world's going to be on the Chargers. Big public play. So I kind of like, if that number, it's flirting with 2.5, 3. If it gets to 3, I kind of like the Raiders there coming out of nowhere and giving the Chargers all they want. Tonight, showdown thoughts. Steelers are now a 2.5-point favorite. I released them last week getting 3.5. Some of my bake into that was knowing that there was a situation where the Browns could be eliminated into tonight. Seemed unlikely because a lot of people, the part of that had to be the Bengals beating the Chiefs, which I was big on the Bengals outright on the money line and getting the spread yesterday. Almost hit an all money line parlay, but the Dolphins let us down there a little bit. But either way, over under 43.5, implied score Steelers 23, Browns 20.5. No real injuries concerns tonight. It looks like Kareem Hunt's going to come back and return. He's been off COVID, had a little ankle injury. Probably watch Monday Night Countdown and kind of see what we think is he going to play for sure? If he's out, then, like a D'Ernest Johnson gets a little bit of love. If he's in, what's his impact going to be in this game? Is there a reason to bring him back? They're out now, so that could matter. We're just going to have to listen to, coach speak, sideline speak, all that stuff in the 2-hour Monday Night Countdown. If you're playing DFS tonight, I think it's crucial to kind of be around that and the GC Warrior Room as we navigate through all that. My prediction, I got the Steelers winning a close one, 24-23. I don't think I'll hedge off of the +3.5. I guess if I could wind up getting the Browns, if that goes all the way to a 3.5, and I got a great middle, I may do it. I'll update the premium members there if we get it as the afternoon goes along. If you missed the hot route on Friday, the reason for very little pods last week was I did come down with COVID. I am finally towards the end of it, but if you can kind of hear it in my voice and all that, doing my best to get through this week. Right now, I plan on doing full schedule, assuming no setbacks. Kiddos still have one more day of no school today. They go back to school tomorrow, so working around that as well. And then we have some good news coming out for Gup's Corner here, and waiting on some final pieces. I expect to be able to announce it to the community and everything. Hopefully this week. It's going to be good for the community. Going to be good for growing not only subs but potential content providers, stuff like that. I'm excited for it as well. No real weather concerns tonight. It's going to be cold, not Packers cold last night, but pretty cold, below freezing. Some winds, but no precipitation. Most think this will be Big Ben's kind of farewell game at home for Pittsburgh, last game in Pittsburgh. The Browns are now officially eliminated. We talked about that. Steelers are in a must-win. Sets up for, do the Browns care to come out and kind of upset their rival, right? They're a big stage. They're on the road. Go into the Steelers' house and give Big Ben a loss in his last game at home, plus keep them out of the playoffs. I mean, I could see where that's a motivation. My question is some of the things that I'll have to, I can only factor in what we know. Right now, they haven't announced anybody not playing tonight, but like if Baker's been banged up and harnessed and all this kind of stuff, is there a reason to play him tonight? I don't know. I mean, football players want to play. I guess we'll just have to watch, and I just think there is a potential for some of that. Or what if Baker gets in there and gets beat up? Steelers are up kind of decently big in the first quarter and a half. Could we see Keenum come in? They just kind of shut Baker down for the year? Certainly. I mean, those are things that at this point in the season, you kind of have to factor in just a little bit. Steelers, I'm not worried about. They got to win, and then they still got some life next week, right? Is it likely the Jags beat the Colts? No, but you still have life, right? So you gotta keep fighting. Steelers are struggling against a run, so I do think Chubb is a really good play tonight. I want to see the Hunt situation. Even if he plays and active, I don't see him, going back into his full split. I think Chubb will still get the majority, but Hunt could be a good change of back. Certainly don't mind using him. I think Big Ben will try to, and this could hurt the Steelers. It'd be the one negative would be, does he try too hard to win it last game in front of everybody? We know his mentality and how he goes. If he's smart, uses Harris, especially out of the backfield, get Deontay, Fairmouth the ball a lot, even Claypool. I think they could win this game, grind it out. It's typical old school AFC South battle, or AFC North, battle. Over under 43.5. I kind of lean the over. I think it is going to be a very tight game one way or the other. I really love the Steelers plus 3.5 because of that. Obviously, the reason why the Lions move so much is because, factoring in that the Browns are no longer playing for anything is the big reason. I think it'll be a good, fun, old school game. And then we get the Mannings back on ESPN2, and they have a hell of a lineup tonight. If you haven't checked that out, I tweeted it yesterday, I think. Looking forward to that as well. I think, it's kind of a weird slate where there's not a lot of what you feel is sexy, nice captain options. And the big reason is I don't think either quarterback really looks great at captain tonight. Big Ben could get a little bit of love because of the narrative story. I don't know if he's a really good play. I mean, I think Chubb's the highest price, and that's warranted. Deontay Johnson gets so much love that I certainly don't mind him up there. Fairmouth, it looks like he's going to play. No concussion setbacks at all. Big Ben likes throwing him the ball. Najee could be up there. He's hit or miss a lot this year. That O-line struggled. That kind of comes down to, again, let's pay attention to inactives, actives. At that D-line for the Browns seems like, what do we play? One way or the other. What are we playing for? Who cares? Or, man, let's shut down this team and end their season on a bad note and give us a good win going into Week 18 and build on for next year. It's hard to handicap that anecdotal information type stuff, but I think those guys are valuable. Pretty close, pretty tight pools on both sides. Some of the Browns receivers are priced up just because they have to be in this situation, especially with cheaper priced quarterbacks. I kind of like the lower price guys. Peoples-Jones is still there. He can bust a long one. Schwartz is a guy getting involved a lot more lately, especially since coming off the injury. Not as high on like a Landry or a Higgins who are a little bit higher there. And if I don't like Baker in that situation, then, it's hard to love a lot of Browns in a slugfest. Definitely like potential defenses. I do like the kickers more tonight. Anytime Baker's playing, especially if he's hurt, banged up, he can certainly turn the ball over. Raymond McLeod getting a lot of looks lately. Cheap also. Kareem Hunt, like I mentioned, another one, $5,400. Could be a really good steal. Or if he's active but going to be partially used or limited, maybe a good way to pivot off of him because a lot of people will go to that cheap price. Claypool, I don't think will get a lot of love because so many people will go to Deontay and then move down. So maybe he's a piece you get in there. Dearness Johnson, like I mentioned, only valuable if Hunt is ruled out again. And you got some flyers out there: James Washington, Benny Snell, Gentry, guys like that. I think it's going to be a low, like I said, 20. I say low scoring, but I do kind of lean the over. Like I think more of 27, 24, 24, 23, which is, it's not high, but it is covering the over by 3 or 4 points. So I'm looking forward to it. My full write-up and article is on the site. Monkey Knife Fight, link is in the description. Dollar for dollar match on that as well. PGA back this week for them as well. I'll go over my picks for that on Wednesday with Underdog. Tonight, really like this one. 3.6x play. Chubb over 84.5 rushing yards and Deontay Johnson over 72.5 receiving yards. Like those there. Use the code GUPS, GUPS, free dollar for dollar match up to $100. Click the link in the description in the pod, and that'll get you to where you need to be. PGA initial odds, Tournament of Champion, 39-man field. Rory, the only one not coming over of the 40 that won last year on the tour. Last year, I'll talk about this on Smash Factor, but got to remember last year we had some extra guys in there based off who made the FedEx Cup finals and all that kind of stuff because of limited playing with COVID and all that. So it wasn't a true only winners type event. Keep that in mind when you're doing your research. Short card right here. 3 guys that caught my eye just off the hook is Brooks, 25-1, Gooch, 40-1, Cam Davis, 125-1. I, of course, will have my outrights out tomorrow. Smash Factor will be out later this evening. Excuse me. Sorry. Maybe early afternoon. Early morning at worst. Looking forward to it. But again, 39-man, no cut field. All these guys coming off pretty good rest for the first time in a while. And some of the stuff I'll talk about on the Smash Factor. I also think the industry in itself is turning and changing quite a bit on the DFS side, potentially betting and all that stuff, which I think will give especially our community some advantages. I'll go over that and some of the back testing and stuff I did in the offseason. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to golf being back, especially these guys. Pretty good stacked field. Still, we had a pretty good heater there in the new swing of the 2021-2022 season. My best start to a year ever, and I've had some pretty good years, so I'm looking forward to continuing that this week. Listener League is in the description, just a reminder. Also, get all your one and done and season-long DK season fill over at carboncontest.com. They are live right now. Josh is running them as usual. They used to be on our site. He moved over to his platform. Last year, he's doing a good job there. Ran bowl games, NFL, Super 7, all that kind of stuff. Go to carboncontest.com and go check those out. They start with the Sony Open, so you still got plenty of time this week to get in there and get those going. I know, I think Mayo, Moose, and all those are running theirs as well if you're looking for others. They get a lot of push out there, so I know those aren't going to be hard to fill up, but wanted to give Josh a shout out. Runs a good platform. Everybody loves the Carbon Cups. One of the funnest things to do. Those are limited fields, so I'd get in there now if you want to. I have already reserved my spots for both the one and done Carbon Cup, and I'll be playing over in Moose's, Mayo's as well. I will be back later for the first Smash Factor of 2022. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys have a blessed evening, and I will talk to you guys later on.